welcome everyone. Thanks for watching, and we've got a great show here today. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the new announcements here at Cisco Live, super exciting announcements. We're going to talk first here about the brand new 9179F large venue access point, and making sure I don't call it what it's not supposed to be called. It's for large venues.
It's pretty flexible,
right?
is what I think.
Exactly.
I mean, this is probably the first one where we think it's not just large public venues. It can be deployed in a lot of scenarios.
Yeah,
so.
Agreed. So we'll talk about that here in a second, but we had a couple other announcements. We grabbed some footage here with the IoT team and the Curb. Basically, we've had multiple episodes on Curb talking about that and how that functionality is coming into our APs. So that we're excited to. We're not going to talk about that live here on the show today, but we've got some content we'll roll out or release here shortly on that. And then we did also talk and announce here the Cisco Campus Gateway here at Live, which has been super exciting for a lot of our campus customers who want to move to the cloud. Yeah,
sure.
So we did have an episode with Travis on that already last time, so we're not going to talk a lot about that, but that was another exciting announcement here from Wireless.
I actually think that the Campus Gateway marries with the 9179F really well. So like if you were to deploy that and you wanted to deploy it cloud managed, that is what you would use.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. So I guess with that, I'd like to, and you guys had a session, so first of all, congrats on another great session. How
many is that now? I don't even, he keeps count better than me.
35-ish times, something like that. Yeah, changes a little bit every year. This year changed a lot.
This year was, I think, the change that we've been waiting for. In Amsterdam, we had a funny slide that was like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
It was my attempt at AI. It's pretty good. but it was like, hey, there's this elephant in the room. Where's your 6 gigahertz capable AP for, large public venues?
Okay.
So we were really happy to come to San Diego and say, all right, here it is.
Yep.
Nice.
But knowing that it was coming in Amsterdam and not being able to say anything was tough.
Nice.
Yep. So let's talk a little bit about what this access point is. It's the CW9179F. You can see it right here.
Oh yeah, in frame. Look at that. It's almost like it was planned.
Yeah, it's almost like it was planned. I know.
Somebody did that on
behind
purpose.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it really is a killer access point. So it's an integrated unit, meaning that it's got a antenna and an AP built into it. And very much like our 9104 product that we had previously, it has a lot of the same capabilities around doing things like reconfiguring beams and being able to do things in software that previously you would have had to use different antennas for and different kind of configurations for.
Maybe even different SKUs.
Yeah,
right?
different SKUs.
Exactly. Yeah. Global use AP, so now same unit everywhere.
It does indoor and outdoor through the magic of this little guy right here, this little environment pack that you can put on the back that actually seals up all the cable entry and actually electronically signals to the AP that it can be used as standard power mode outdoors.
So that's really cool. So just so I'm clear on that, one AP, I can then just buy it, one SKU, and effectively swap that out if I want to go indoor, outdoor,
right.
And I'm compliant either way. It's doing that change in software. I don't have to worry about it. It's not a manual thing that I'm configuring in the software.
That door is an accessory that you would purchase separately. So it ships indoor.
Yes.
If you want to take it outdoor, you buy that pack, and then we also have what we're calling a quick connect.
Okay.
Do you have we have a slide?
Yeah, we got a slide on that somewhere.
Let's go to that.
Well, we got some real world examples first.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
We went to Bottle Rock in Napa Valley and we tested this thing out a couple weeks ago, and it worked awesome.
Sounds like a tough job.
And we hit
it
the
was
AP
a tough gig.
in plain view.
Really?
Yeah. The AP was not yet released, but we did use it.
Okay. Nice.
And it did great. It was a great test. So this is the environment pack that we were just talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Indoor and outdoor. This is the sardine antenna, which is in Matt's back pocket, apparently.
Look at that. Wow.
So these are some new antennas. This is a pretty cool capability of this access point where we've got this ability to do what we call front and back mode, where we can actually service clients behind the AP as well as in front of the AP in those scenarios where that makes sense, where you've got to have some coverage directly under. Because keep in mind, this is a hyper-directional access point. So this is something that one of the beam states is bore sight or narrow, and that's 35 degrees wide. But we can also flip it over to wide mode, which makes it a 70 degree wide antenna, all in software. And then we have this flexibility to do these antennas on the back as well. So you can use this new sardine antenna, which is a little patch. It's a directional patch.
4 of these go on the end connectors on the back. Maybe we just go ahead and show that.
Look at this. Yeah. Look at it.
Yeah, here it is.
Right.
in all
There's
its
a lot
glory.
going on in here.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the back side, you can see these end connectors. Let's turn that around. There you go.
Yeah, some end
And this
connectors here.
Sardine would articulate and attach to these. So the idea was,
Thank you,
you know,
Kara.
in previous AP generations, we had the 3802P, we had the 9130, and we had the ability to have an antenna going in one direction and an antenna going in a different direction. On the 9104, we lost that capability. So when we went to sit down to think about what we wanted to do with the 9179, that was on our list of things to kind of bring back into it. So
Yep.
that's how we did it.
So the AP could be paranoid in a sense where it's got people or things talking behind its back.
That's right.
Basically, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, It
exactly.
senses that.
And this is what Matt was talking about with
Yeah.
this quick connect. And you want to talk about the off
Well,
ladder?
yeah. So, so you know, you don't remember everything from the very beginning. So when we started going out and testing these things, I showed up at a site near my house, and there's a guy on a lift, and we have all these parts, and I was like, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Because we're asking this guy to take this AP and this door and
Yes.
these glands and all these things, but we're asking him to do it 100 feet up in the air, shaking around on a lift, and we're like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So we came up with this, quick connect idea where you can down on safe ground, assemble all the parts together, make sure that they're sealed properly. So then the installation person has a much easier time of just connecting the Ethernet
Interesting.
cable, weatherizing it. There's like a bulkhead connector there that you can screw it down. It's really important for other installations as well. Like we're going to the U.S. Open tomorrow.
Wow, okay.
And so if you think about something like that, or Bottle Rock, where they put the network up in a couple days,
Sure.
but then they got to take it back down.
Yes.
Prior to having this quick connect, you would have had to remove that plate. And we're like,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
never going to be a good idea.
Not safe.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yep.
plus, we just don't want you putting it on and off. And
Takes
you
too
know,
long.
yeah,
and
so
Wear and tear.
so we came up with this idea, and we think it's going to work out really well.
Yeah. So this is us back in, what was it, January or
January of
something?
this year,
we were
yeah.
doing some testing. We've got some really good friends, a good customer and partner at Claire Global who helps us to do some testing of our gear because they have a really killer setup where bands come in and they test out all their touring stuff in these big black cubes that are in the middle of Amish country in Pennsylvania. And it's a perfect testing ground for APs and antennas because we can actually put them on these trusses, raise them and lower them to different heights, do survey data. The grid in the ceiling is actually also etched into the floor, so we can
you
get
get
perfect
really
high
accurate
resolution
surveys.
surveys.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of that testing. We compared it with the old 9104. It performed better in every category, both in 5 gig, and of course now we've got the 6 gig capability too.
Wow.
Yeah, so special thanks to the folks at Claire for
Yeah.
letting us do that. That Rockledge campus, if you ever get a chance to go there, it's amazing. If
For
you
sure.
like music,
Cool.
go check that place out.
Yeah, nice.
And this just gives you an idea of what some of this data looks like. So we took it out to Bottle Rock, like we were saying. We collected a bunch of survey data. We did some GPS surveys, and much like we expected, we've got a nice in narrow mode or bore sight mode. We've got a nice narrow cell. So we get that, nice narrow coverage pattern that we want. And then the alternative is in wide mode, where you want to go out wide. Maybe you've got a wider area you're trying to cover. You can do the same thing with that. Same antenna, same skew, all those things.
When was this event again?
It's like 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
recent. Very recent.
End of May, Napa Valley, good time of year.
Nice.
Yeah. You want to?
Well, so we had this idea that we wanted to show the power of 6 gigahertz in high density. And so, like I said, we're really good friends with the Claire Global folks, and we had this idea, and we said, maybe during one of the headliners we could get into the front of house sound,
Sure.
and do a test. And so the Arrow is where we were. And
okay.
we were in the middle of a sea of people,
Yeah,
and that's
wow.
probably the hardest place to do really good Wi-Fi.
Yes.
I mean, it's just packed. You can see how many people are there. Well, then we got in there, so we had a little bit of space to bring our laptops and all that. And this is a 6 gigahertz speed test with the associated spectrum capture. I mean, you're ripping, 300 to 400 megs through in a sea of people. So
That's impressive.
Yeah.
we just had this wild idea, and they always tend to support our wild ideas. And
Yeah.
so we pulled it off, and it was awesome. But
Wow.
we would let you hear the sound, but Billy from Green Day said a bunch of bad words.
Yep.
So we had to mute that out.
Yep.
But
Yeah, this is a PG.
Yeah,
PG.
we'll keep it friendly.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. So yeah, we're really stoked on this AP. It's going to be awesome. Lots of different. We call it a Swiss Army knife. Honestly, it is targeted at those large public venues, places like this where we're doing a lot of directionals overhead, those kinds of things. But it's also going to have a lot of broad applicability, I think, in a lot of other scenarios, warehouses,
It's just so much
distribution
smaller.
centers.
The 9104 is still doing really well. I saw someone, one of the local sales folks that is working on the Pacers. They're in the NBA Finals and all that, and they showed a speed test from the 9104 from that field house, and it's still smoking.
Yeah.
Nice.
But this is where it's at, but it's 6 pounds lighter,
Yeah.
and it's just so much smaller. So your ability to put that places where you couldn't put a 9104, I think it's going to be in a lot more places.
Yep.
And then the indoor-outdoor capability is just huge. Same product. So
I think that's a huge innovation. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Anything else? Any other stories here from live
Oh my goodness.
that are again, friendly?
It depends. It depends on what kind of story you want to hear. No, we look forward to Cisco Live every year.
Yeah.
We
It's
love
awesome.
sitting down with the customers, and it. The only drawback to me for live is I need a vacation when it's over. I'm just exhausted, but it's worth it every year. We have a lot of fun doing it. Our session was really good. We're just busy the whole time, but we're super pumped about this new AP, and we're looking forward. We're just the thing is like we don't just talk about it; we go and do it. So like we came from Bottle Rock to here to the U.S. Open, and sandwiched in between Cisco Live, we're out testing this thing.
Yeah.
So it's been really good.
Yep.
Yeah. Plug your session, please.
BRKEWN2087 is our session that we did yesterday, so that should be available in the on-demand library, I think, in a week or two.
That was Jim and Simone, right?
Yeah, we did say a little joke at the end of our session, and I think it went something like, if you really like this session, I'm Matt and this is Josh.
Yep.
But if you didn't like it, that's Jim Floric and I'm Simone Arias. And I told Simone that last night, and he got a kick out of it.
They're friends of the show, too, so I just had to get that in there.
Yeah, tell them I said hi.
Yeah, will do. All right, well, Josh, Matt, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Great to have you
Thanks
on the
for
show
having us.
here.
Yeah, awesome.
So
Thanks for having us.
I'll let you run. I know you got other
Right
things
on.
to do.
No worries.
So appreciate you.
Off to meet with some customers.
Meet the engineer. Here we come.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks.
All right, appreciate it.